Everyone, thanks so much for coming back along. I've had a really exciting day today in that I have been working on the ballet, and I've got this email from Sophie, and she's wanting to work on the next section of the ballet. And this is what she's asked for, is something powerful, grounded, forceful, dynamic, with some attack, almost like war music. Well, this is completely right up my street. And the dancers will all be dancing together wearing a crown, so idea what kind of visuals are going to be. And she asked for me to try out maybe a sample of 20 to 30 seconds to make sure we find the right sound world. So what I've done this morning, in just a couple of hours, is write 3 short examples of what this could be. So we're looking for something powerful, grounded, forceful, dynamic. I didn't record my process because I was just trying to do it far too quickly. So I'm going to kind of go through the tracks retrospectively and show them to you. There's 3 very, very short tracks going on here. They're only, less than a minute long, each of them. But this is to give Sophie an idea of kind of what I could do for each of these tracks, and to maybe give her an idea of perhaps the direction we could maybe go in. And I've tried to be very disparate in the approach to each track. So each of these 3 examples are really quite different from each other in terms of meter, tempo. Orchestration's quite similar in some places, but certainly they're very, very different beasts. So here is the first short example. It lasts about 45 seconds, and then I'll talk you through what's going on here. So short and sweet, less than a minute long. And this is just to give Sophie an idea of what this track could possibly be. So I would obviously explain to her that this opening kind of rhythmic groove could be expanded and really kind of grow and develop. The horn melody in here definitely needs quite a bit of work. It just doesn't quite fit, but I'm doing this so quickly, the turnaround's really quick. I just need to get this example to Sophie so she can kind of approve it, and then once she approves it, I can put more time into it. The starting point for this track was quite simply just this guide piano at the top here, which sounds so rubbish when you compare it to what the actual track is. And then I just sketched the chords, which I wrote here. So starting on chord 4, and then resolving onto chord 1. Kind of flirting with G minor a little bit. Then it goes through the cycle of fifths. Resolving again to D minor. And then finishing off. So what I'll do is I'll just play this, and then we'll swap it out with the demo. So from that really small, simple piano part, I orchestrated this out. So let's just go through what's going on here in the track. Nothing is particularly grouped particularly well apart from the strings. So forgive me if this looks like a total mess. Okay, the percussion, we've got a lot of stuff on the go here. So we're using some Abbey Road low percussion, some Hans Zimmer low hits. And then I just kind of label the kind of high percussion so that I really know what's kind of far left, right, far right. So I kind of know where everything sort of is. So this is the kind of groove on the go. And I'm using 5/4 here so that it has a sense of not feeling completely settled. So the whole point of this piece is that it never really sort of settles until the very end of the whole ballet. So this kind of 5/4 groove shouldn't feel completely sort of settled, or that's the plan anyway. 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3. So you can sort of hear it as 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, or just 1. Da, da, da. So there's a few different kind of interpretations that Sophie could have of the kind of rhythmic groove that's on the go. For the horn melody, I'm using 6 horns, and these are from Unconvincing Infinite Brass, a library which I absolutely love. And I'm using each individual horn. So you notice horn 1 is actually horn 1, horn 2 is actually horn 2, and so on and so forth. So each horn kind of sounds like its own individual instrument. In the lower brass, I'm also using some Unconvincing as well. This needs to be mixed completely because they're very muddy. They're kind of getting in the way completely. And then the strings. So we've got this in violin 1 opening kind of spiccato idea. Which just kind of soars above the melody. And then the lower strings are just filling out the chord, kind of doing exactly the same as what the trombones are doing. So that is essentially this track. That is the orchestration that I would use if Sophie, I hope, approves this track and decides to go with it. But this is what I kind of wrote within sort of 45 minutes this morning. This was the track that came out. It just started with the chords, and then I wrote the melody in the horns. Really, really simple melody on the go here. Very kind of elongated and long, and within quite a limited range as well. It doesn't really go too high or too low, so it's really quite simple, and just kind of allowing this kind of the epicness to kind of be heard, if that makes sense. Okay, so that's enough on example 1. Let's move on to the second example which I gave, which is a totally different example to the one that you've just heard. This one that you've just heard is kind of epic, and epic in inverted commas, and sort of big and bombastic and bold, and this next one still is very kind of in your face, but in a kind of completely different sort of way. Has a totally different feel to it. So we're using 3/4 rather than 5/8. So it feels kind of more regular. Still using a lot of Abbey Road Orchestra and Hans Zimmer percussion. Some East-West sticks as well on the go, which I like to use. They're great for just kind of putting the percussion in a different kind of space. Some anvils as well. And then the horns are kind of carrying the melody again, but they're being used in a totally different way. And then we've got all the kind of low brass. Again, this is from Unconvincing Infinite Brass as well. So this one lasts 44 seconds, very, very short again. I'm really just trying to give Sophie a tiny pocket of what a piece might be before I give too much time to it and develop it too much. She just wants to hear what the piece could be. So hopefully this will give her a good idea. So here is example 2. So again, that is just a really super quick sketch. So I can go to Sophie and be like, what do you think? What do you think about this? Is this something which you kind of envisioned, or something which challenges you, or something which you weren't thinking of at all? The horns in this range sound incredible. What a library. And these are the two trombones, bass trombone, contrabass trombone, and tuba. Amazing library, totally worth checking out. In the percussion, we've got a few layers on the go here. So we're using first off Abbey Road Orchestra Epic Toms at the top here. And then they're being joined by Abbey Road Orchestra taikos, giant taikos. Obviously, this is totally unmixed. There's too much mid on the go. I need to control the low end. And then Hans Zimmer Epic Hits are joining them here, I hope. And then Hans Zimmer, have I mislabeled it? Yeah, it is. I'm using boobams. And then they're joined by these buckets, which just solidify the groove. And then at this point, just to add another layer of interest, I'm using some sticks again. I think it's pulley sticks or something. Just again to get that other layer of drive. So to begin with, we've got quite a kind of quite a clear groove, but it's a little bit disjointed. When you add in the buckets, it gives this sense of, right, here's the beat. And then the sticks just add another kind of layer of really solidifying where the groove is. I hate the word groove, but I think that's what it requires. I was kind of mucking around with some Trilian, which is a bass patch. I can't remember what sound this is. So I'm going to fit some of this kind of sound in here somewhere, but I haven't quite finished that yet. I'm just trying to get this to Sophie as quickly as possible. Okay, so that's a really rough look at this example, and let's move on to example 3. While example 3 is loading up, why don't you subscribe to the channel? That would be hugely appreciated. I can't believe that we are over 500 subscribers. I actually think today is the anniversary of the first video that I posted. Certainly it's round about now. It was January 2023 when I first started this channel, and I'm just so happy that so many of you have decided to come and see what's going on, and you know, come with me on my kind of compositional journey, and with all these projects that I have, that I'm really delighted to be able to work on. There's a lot of exciting stuff on the go just now. Anyway, let's see if this is loaded in yet. We might have to do a little cut. I'm trying to just do this completely as live as possible. Okay, we're going to wait for this to load in. This can sometimes take a wee while. 12.2 gigabytes of samples later. Plenty of time for you all to have subscribed to the channel. That would be great. Okay, so here again is a totally different piece. This one's in 4/4, different kind of rhythmic feel to it again. I'm just gonna show you what we've got on the go here. So again, mostly just using strings and percussion again for this. This one's kind of got a kind of dark atmosphere to it. I suppose that's one way of describing it. Okay, let's just let's play it, and we can talk you through it after. So this one actually just started as that on the sketch, and then I just kind of wrote it all out that way. This melody I'm really not convinced by yet. It just doesn't kind of fit. I almost wonder if it'd be fine without it. There's enough going on there without a melody. So I'm gonna take a rain check on that, but I think that might actually just get patched. Okay, so the different layers we've got on the go here. Again, we've got usual percussions before, Abbey Road Orchestra, Hans Zimmer. Obviously I'll go through and turn and humanize these. These are just loops just now, so I'll get rid of the loops and I'll change the velocities and automation, and but for now I just had to do this so quickly that loops are just the way I had to do it. Okay, we've got a bit of Aperture, the wall on the go, just for again, this is just placeholder. This will all get changed and really think about the movement of it, but for now. And then in the lower strings, we've got the kind of the incessant motif. And this is all Spitfire BBC Symphony Orchestra Pro that I'm using here, which is kind of my go-to library. I am using a little bit of Trilian as well, the bass library I was talking about before. Just using their presets. I need to get rid of that attack. But again, you can't hear it in the mix. You sort of can. Yeah, I need to go through and correct that, but this is so quick. I haven't had a chance to listen to each individual element on its own, but that is how I spent my morning. Maybe you can let me know in the comments which one's your favourite, or if you think I've actually kind of matched the brief that Sophie set of if any of these tracks do it. I'm not sure. I always doubt myself. But again, thank you so much for tuning in. Again, I'm really delighted that you've come along, and stay tuned for the next one, and see you next time.